I'd like the congregation to repeat this after me. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am at the right place.
I am at the right place.
At the right time.
At the right time.
I am at the right place.
I am at the right place.
At the right time.
At the right time.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. You go over these songs now. You can clap your hands, stomp your feet, tap the ring up in front of you.
Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Welcome to the Yahweh and Yahshua Speak television show. We are going to start a lesson entitled, Fear Not, Yahweh is Keeping Score. Go to Matthew, the 7th chapter. Fear not, Yahweh is keeping score. Going to Matthew, the 7th chapter. The world keeps score by taking censuses to count heads. And I have an article here that says a census is the process of obtaining information about every member of a population. The term is mostly used in connection with national population and housing censuses. From Census New World Encyclopedia at www.newworldencyclopedia.org, it says Rome conducted censuses to determine taxes. Well, we're up under the Roman system. And so the Roman census, from the Latin word censere, meaning estimate, it played a crucial role in the administration of the Roman Empire. The Roman census was carried out every 5 years, and it provided a register of citizens and their property. The Bible relates stories of several censuses. The book of Numbers describes a divinely mandated census that occurred when Moses led the Israelites from Egypt. A later census called by King David of Israel, referred to as the, quote, numbering of the people, unquote, incited divine retribution. We're going to read about that a little later. A Roman census is also mentioned in one of the best known passages of the Bible, in the Gospel of Luke, describing the birth of Jesus of Nazareth in Bethlehem, because Mary and Joseph had gone there to be enumerated in a Roman census. So let's delay Matthew the 7th chapter and go to Luke the 2nd chapter first. So the world keeps score by taking censuses.
Yup.
The Romans weren't the first ones to invent the census, but they were the last ones that engaged in it right before the United States. Luke the 2nd chapter. And let's read verses 1 to 5, please.
Hallelujah.
And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. And all went to be taxed, everyone into its own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea into the city of David, which he called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his exposed wife, being great with child.
So this is what the census, Rome used the census about. It was really for taxation purposes. And so it says, now not only did Rome do it, but there were other people, the Babylonians and some other people. But I have this other article, www.census.gov, history. It says 1790 overview. Census day was August the 2nd, 1790. Now this is talking about the United States, which is modern Babylon, modern Rome, right?
All right.
Authorizing legislation. The first census began more than a year after the inauguration of President Washington, first president, right? And shortly before the second session of the first Congress ended. The law required that every household be visited, that completed census schedules be posted in 2 of the most public places within each jurisdiction, and that the aggregate amount of each description of persons for every district be transmitted to the president. Enumeration. The 6 inquiries in 1790 call for the name of the head of the family and the number of persons in each household of the following descriptions. Free white males of 16 years and upward, to assess the country's industrial and military potential. We're going to see that in some scripture. They got that from Yahweh. Free white males under 16 years, free white females, all other free persons, and slaves. All right, so that's the United States updated version of the census. Now let's go to Matthew, the 7th chapter. So people keep score by asking how many people attend your places of worship. They take their census. They count heads when they come in the building. They put attendance rolls on their church walls. But Yahweh has already said, few will seek his places of worship. Matthew 17. He told you up front. I'm sorry, Matthew 7. He told you up front. Matthew 7. I'm going to read one verse. Verse 13. Please.
Enter ye in.
Enter.
Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in tree.
There at.
There at.
All right. So here's Yahweh telling you. Enter ye in at the straight gate. That's a narrow gate. Does he say wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction? That's the wrong way. You don't want to go that way.
Right.
But he said there's many that are going that way. I have an article here, and it talks about mega churches. This is from www.cbsnews.com. 30 biggest American mega churches. Now they call them mega churches and domes, right? America's biggest mega churches ranked. And I'm just going to read just a few of them. At number 29, World Changers Church International in College Park, Georgia. That's Pastor Creflo Dollar. He has about 15,000 weekly visitors. At 27 is the Family Christian Center in Munster, Indiana. Remember that's that guy, I think it's Muncie is his name?
Yes.
Oh, okay. He has about 15,540 weekly visitors. Number 25 is the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas. That is T.D. Jakes. He has about 16,140 weekly visitors. Then, the top 5. At number 5 is Willow Creek Community Church in South Barrington, Illinois. They have about 25,743 weekly visitors. Number 4 is Gateway Church in South Lake, Texas. They have about 28,000 weekly visitors. I believe the pastor is Robert Morse. Number 3 is Life Church in Edmond, Oklahoma. They have about 30,000 weekly visitors. Number 2 is North Point Community Church in Alpharetta, Georgia. They have about 30,629 weekly visitors. And number 1 is Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. Pastor Joel Osteen. They have about 43,500 weekly visitors.
Wow.
Then I have this other article before we go on. And this is outside the United States. And this is from leadnet.org. The world's largest churches, a country-by-country list of global mega churches, maintained by Warren Bird, PhD. And he had a whole bunch of them, but I only got the ones that were in Nigeria because they're at the top 5, top 4. In the Omega Power Ministries in Nigeria, they have 70,000. In the Deeper Christian Life Ministry in Nigeria, they have 65,000. In Living Faith Church, Winners Chapel, main campus, they have 50,000. In Redeemed Christian Church of God in Nigeria, they have 50,000. All right, so we want to put this in perspective because the title of this lesson is Fear Not, Yahweh is Keeping Score. Let's go to Luke, the 6th chapter. Years ago, a sister stuck her head in the temple door and she asked, "Where's everybody at?" Micaiah answered her, "The same place you've been at." She smiled and was embarrassed and closed the door. Going to Luke, the 6th chapter. So if you are counting heads and numbering people, you turn off when not enough people fit into your criteria.
Right. Tell like it is.
You're part of those blind guides who swear by the temple and the number of people at the temple. Luke, the 6th chapter. We just read in Matthew, the 7th, that broad is the way, and many there be that go in thereat, and that's the way of destruction.
Right.
All right, let's read Luke and verse 69.
Hallelujah.
I'm sorry, Luke 6 and verse 39.
Hallelujah.
Luke 6 and verse 39.
And he spake a parable into them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch? Fall into the ditch.
Now, this is a parable, but this is something you can answer off the top of your head. Can the blind lead the blind?
No.
You see them out there in this world, they're going to have a stick or something. They've been trained how to use that stick. The blind cannot lead the blind because they'll both fall into the ditch. Go to Matthew the 15th chapter. So what Yahweh is saying, it takes spiritual eyes to see what Yahweh is doing.
Yes, it does.
You can't just look with your natural eye.
Hallelujah.
That's what keeping score is about. Looking with your natural eye.
Yup.
And all those figures that I read,
Tell it like it is.
they're so impressed.
I know, right?
When they hear all those numbers.
I know, right?
But we're going to find out we should not be impressed by that.
No, we should.
Matthew 15, and let's read verses 12 to 14.
Hallelujah.
So it takes spiritual eyes to see what Yahweh is doing.
Right.
Matthew 15, verses 12 to 14.
Praise Him.
Then came his disciples and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall he root up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind.
Yep.
And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
Why are they going to fall in the ditch? Because they're looking with their natural eye.
Right.
He said, Then came his disciples unto him and said, Yada, or know you that the Pharisees were offended after they heard what you said, Yahshua? But Yahshua responded and said, Hey, every plant which Shemayim Abba, my heavenly Father has not planted, shall be rooted up.
Yeah.
He's rooting up some stuff out of you and me now.
Yep.
That's not according to the way he thinks and the way he is and the way you need to start thinking. He said, let them alone.
Yeah.
They're blind leaders of the blind. So whoever doesn't want to use their spiritual eyes to see, they'll follow these people that are looking with their natural eye and blind. And he said, but if they're following these blind people, both of them are going to fall into a ditch. Then maybe after they fall off into the ditch, they'll start thinking, okay, wait a minute, what's going on? I'm over here in a ditch, I'm not moving, things are not working out like they're supposed to be. What's going on with me? They'll finally look at themselves. All right, and then see what's going on. Go to Matthew 23rd chapter. So people around you only see the natural. And you have to remember that Yahweh, the things of Yahweh are not natural but spiritual.
Yes, they are.
So most of the people around you are looking at things in the natural.
Hallelujah. Just like this, bro.
We are dealing, you are dealing, supposed to be with the things of Yahweh, which are spiritual.
Yes.
Matthew 23, one verse 16.
Hallelujah.
Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor.
So they're trying to make all this stuff be something that, as far as a big fancy building, how you can swear by that, or how that's supposed to be to represent something so wonderful. He said, woe unto you, because you're a blind guy. Which are Amar saying, whosoever shall swear by the temple, by the building. Now we're the temple of Yahweh. Okay, this is a temple too, but the main temple is your body.
Hallelujah.
He said, and whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, then that's really, oh, you have all this money coming in, so that's really, really important.
Okay.
Go to Matthew the 5th chapter. He said, they both missed the boat. The English word swear is a Greek word found in Blue Letter Bible number 3660. Thayer's Greek lexicon defines it as swearing to call a person or a thing as a witness, to swear by, to affirm. And people will use that. Yeah, we have so many members, so this means this, and so this represents that. To swear means to threaten with an oath, to claim absolutely. So when you come to the temple, what you come to the temple for is not natural.
No.
It started with a miracle birth and it ended with a miracle resurrection. Going to Matthew the 5th chapter. So you believing is not natural, and Yahweh wants you to know it's not natural. The world wants to tell you about facts and figures and how the bigger is better, and then that's the proof positive. You better listen to what Yahweh says.
I know, right?
Yahweh wants you to realize that the supernatural is just as real as the natural that you see all around you.
That's where it all came from.
You can see them both. Most people can only see one. Matthew 5, and let's read verses 33 to 37.
Hallelujah.
So what you come to the temple for is not natural.
No, it's not.
Matthew 5, 33 to 37.
Hallelujah.
Again ye have heard that it have been said by them of old time, thou shalt not whatsoever
forswear
to
thyself,
but shalt perform unto Yahweh thine oaths. But if any unto you,
but I say
unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is Yahweh's.
Yeah, so he said, don't be swearing, period.
I know, right?
He said, in old time they say, don't forswear yourself. They said it in ancient time. He said, just whatever you say, then be a person of your word.
That's right.
And then here he's confirming, don't swear at all.
Right.
Amen.
No matter what you're using, even if you got a big fancy building, even if you got 50,000 people at the temple. All right, verse 35 to 37.
Nor by the earth, for it is his footstool.
Yeah.
Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communications be yes, yea, nay, may, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
So he's saying you don't have to be claiming because the temple has however many members, or because because it's worldwide, because it's on television stations. You don't have to be using that as an absolute to guarantee anything. He said as far as what you're doing, when you say something, be a person of your word and do it. When you say you're not going to do something, then people, you go ahead and people be watching you, and then so what you say, they understand. You're going to stand by your word. He says, swear to your hurt and change not.
Yeah.
So even if it's a sacrifice, even if it's inconvenient, he said, you swear to your own hurt and change not. He said, let your yes when you give it be yes. Let your no when you give it be no.
That's
he said, because whatever falls short of that is evil.
Yeah.
Go to Matthew 23rd chapter. So big buildings and large numbers do not impress Yahweh.
No, it does not.
Matthew 23. Yahweh, therefore, it doesn't impress him, so it should not impress you.
No.
And the world thinks large numbers at the place of worship guarantee it's the right place to be at. But again, Yahweh doesn't think like the world.
Thus says Yahweh.
And you're supposed to be learning how to think like Yahweh.
That's right.
Matthew 23, and let's read verses 18 to 22, please.
Hallelujah.
And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing but whosoever swear by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater the gift or the altar that sanctify the gift.
Now here they're going throughout the whole temple, picking things to swear by and saying, okay, so that this is definite, so then this guarantees because I'm swearing by this.
Right.
He said, swear by the altar, swear by the gift. He said, you all missed the boat. You're swearing by these natural things that you can see with your natural eye. We don't do that anymore, but the world does. Verses 20 to 22, please.
Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, swear by it, and by all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple, swear by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he that shall swear by heaven, swear by the throne of Yahweh, and by him that sitteth thereon.
So whatever natural thing you call yourself swearing by, he said if Yahweh is not involved with it, it makes no difference whatsoever.
Right.
It's not even something that should be put out there. Thinking you're giving yourself some credibility. Go to Isaiah the 64th chapter. So do you see Yahweh as a potter and yourself as the clay? That's what he's saying. He's talking about all this swearing by the temple and how many numbers are at the temple. He's saying, do you see your Yahweh as a potter and yourself as the clay?
I do.
Are you becoming more spiritual minded doing his will?
Right.
Or more natural minded? Thinking that the church or temple has to be so big, so many people have to see you. You got to be on so many TV channels in order for you to be doing something for Yahweh. Then you're in it for your own recognition.
Right.
He always said that that's your reward then.
Tell it like
You
it
better be
is,
satisfied with the people patting you on the back, because that's all you're getting.
I know, right?
Yahweh is not even paying any attention to you. Isaiah 64. So do you see yourself as smack dab in the middle of Yahweh's will?
Yes.
Or
Hallelujah.
not? That's a yes or no
Yes.
question. And we tell them, let me think about it. Then you looking with your natural eye. Isaiah 64 and 1 verse 8.
Hallelujah.
But now, O Yahweh, that art our. Thou art our
Yes.
Father.
Yes.
We are the city.
Wait, we are the
We
clay.
are the clay.
Yeah, slow down. You're doing good.
And thou art potter.
Potter.
And we shall
And we all.
all are the work of thy hand.
Yes.
All right. It said, but now, O Yahweh, you are our Father.
Yes.
We are the clay.
Yes, we are.
We are letting you mold us into what we're supposed to be.
Hallelujah.
That is, if you're letting Yahweh do what He want to do to
I
you.
know, right?
And you are our potter. And the potter is the one that works with the clay.
Yes.
The clay don't work with the potter, not vice versa. We are all the work of your hand, Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
Go to Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter. So Yahweh tells you counting heads and numbering people is not His way.
No, it's not.
Knowing what temple He's called you to be at is His way.
Hallelujah.
You don't want you sitting up at some temple and wondering and thinking, am I supposed to be here? Well, what? Then you need to go back out the door and go somewhere else.
Praise Yahweh.
Yahweh values seeing you doing things in secret and
Yes.
letting Him keep score.
Yes.
Ecclesiastes. I
Yes.
shouldn't have to look for a bunch of people to see me doing what
I
I'm
know,
doing.
right?
Yahweh.
Amen.
I know, right? I don't want to know.
If I do, then I gotta check myself. I gotta find out what's wrong with me. That means I'm counting heads and keeping scores.
Right?
But Yahweh's the one that's supposed to be doing that.
Yes.
Ecclesiastes, it's right after Proverbs and Psalms,
What number?
the 9th chapter. We'll read one verse, verse 10.
Hallelujah.
Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor our wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest.
So this is it. The time is now.
Yeah.
Yahweh saying, hey, I like seeing you doing things in secret because I'm keeping score. I see everything you do.
Hallelujah.
You don't need anybody else to be looking and trying to figure and letting you know what you do, or you don't need no audience to be doing what you're doing. He said, I'm your audience. I'm looking at you.
Hallelujah.
Every second, millisecond of every day. He said, so whatsoever your hand finds to do, he's talking about within His will, what He's told you to do it with everything you got in you. Do it well.
Yeah.
Amen.
Keep working on it. Keep practicing till you do it better and better and better. Why? Because you're doing it as unto His service, so that He gets the glory. You're doing it with His spirit of excellence. Your spirit might not be excellent, but when you line up with Him, He's going to make your spirit excellent. So you do it with excellence. And if you're doing it not with excellence, that means you got to get yourself together and start doing it the right way. He said, do it with your might.
I know, right?
He said, because there's no work, no device, no knowledge, no wisdom where you're going.
That's right.
Now's the time. You can keep putting it off if you want, thinking, well, another day I'll do that. You had those 10 virgins, and 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. The 5 that were foolish kept putting it off, procrastinating, thinking they had time. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, you know, I don't really have to do it that good now. I'll practice later. And they ended up behind the 8 ball. It got too late.
And left.
Time came, Yahshua came, and they got cut out.
Right.
Go to 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. So Yahweh values you getting to the point where you don't have to think about why you're doing what you do for Him.
I know, right?
The lesson is fear not. Yahweh is keeping score.
Yeah.
He wants you to get to the point where you don't have to think about why you're doing what you do for Him. What you sitting there questioning and thinking, wondering why you're doing something for Yahweh. You need to go back home and sit down and say, look here, Yahweh. What's wrong with me? Why am I sitting there?
Tell like it is.
I'm doing what I'm doing for you. Wasn't that your son came and died for me enough?
I know, right?
Hallelujah.
1 Corinthians, wasn't that your son opened the way back so I could have eternal life back to restore a right relationship with the Father? Wasn't that enough? So what you want? He already gave His blood. The world expression is, what you want, blood? He already gave His blood. 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 6, please.
Hallelujah.
I have planted apostles.
Apollo.
Watered,
Yeah.
but Elohim gave the increase.
Yes.
All right, so this verse illustrates that you may not be at the same temple all your life. He said one person plants,
Right.
then another, Yahweh lead you to another temple, something happened, people do die, temples do close up for whatever reason.
Right.
Then you go to the next temple, then here's somebody else that waters on the word that you already learned from Yahweh. But Yahweh is the one that's with you throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
He's giving the increase of whatever temple that you're at.
Right.
So whether the temple is big or small should make no spiritual difference to you.
I know, right?
Because you may not even stay at the same temple all your life. And that will be Yahweh moving you.
Hallelujah.
I'm not talking about temple hopping. Not
Tell
talking about
like it is,
every few days or every weekend.
I know, right?
No, that's you. That's not Yahweh.
Right.
But when Yahweh has put you at a temple and you've learned what you're supposed to learn there, and things happen, whether it's the temple closing down or whatever, or Yahweh is transitioning you to another point, then you may not be at the same temple all your life, and that's all right. Go to Revelation 12th chapter. So one of our TV show intros, going to Revelation 12, has Ra'ah Anah Ban Yisrael say, I'm at the right place at the right time.
That's it.
And he has us repeat that. But some people might repeat it and then they just kind of thinking or don't really know or act like that, not at the right place at the right time. I mean, and that's basic.
Yeah.
To know whether you're at the right place at the right time.
Right.
Revelation 12, so we praying that you find it out.
Yes.
Let's read verses 1 to 4, please.
Hallelujah.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her foot, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So this is talking about what Yahweh talked about in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the seed of the woman and the dragon. So this is just letting you know about the spiritual war that's going on in the earth, good against evil. And that the woman having a child, this is representative of the 12 tribes of Yisrael. and where Miriam had the Savior, Yahshua.
Right.
And then this also represents this dragon who had started a war in Shemayim. And it says, his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, talking about the Malachim or the angels that were in heaven, and cast them to the earth. They sided with him in this war.
All right, Rod. Tell like it
1/3
is.
sided with the wicked one, the devil. 2/3 sided with Yahweh. It said it cast them to the ground, and then, so down here, they're trying to stop Yahweh's people from serving Yahweh, from coming to Yahweh.
Right.
And they do it by all these censuses and all these numbers out there and trying to convince you that the bigger the group is, the bigger the church house is, the more people that go to the church house. It said the dragon standing before the woman, Yahweh's people, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. It not only represented Yahshua, but it represents you and me too.
Yes.
But the thing that we want to look at in this passage is Yahweh didn't tell you exact numbers
Right.
of the 1/3 that the tail of this dragon drew from heaven, or the 2/3 angels. Go to Daniel the 7th chapter. What he did tell you that whatever temple you attend, you are never in the minority
No, we're not.
or outnumbered
No, we're
spiritually.
No,
You
we're
are
not. Never.
So you can read about these 70,000 people and these 30,000 that come weekly to all these other. If you come to a temple and there's not 70,000, there's not 700, you are never in the minority.
No, we're not.
You are never outnumbered spiritually. Daniel the 7th
It is
chapter.
written.
The devil wants to make you think that, but don't believe the lie.
I know, right?
That's why Yahweh told you about the 1/3 and the 2/3.
Okay.
Daniel 7 verses 9 to 10, please.
Hallelujah.
Strangers have devoured.
Daniel the 7th chapter. Start at verse 9. Daniel. Daniel 7. Verses 9 to 10.
Praise Yahweh.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. The throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
Yes.
A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousand ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
So now you see this fiery stream. This is talking about the Father. It said a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands. It's talking about these 2/3. Thousands. Plus it will be us too. Ministered unto him. So you see, he didn't give you a number there either.
Right.
Thousands. Let's go to 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. No matter how many heads people count when they enter Yahweh's true temples,
Right.
there are still more with us than against us. 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. So there's a spirit realm running parallel to the natural realm. It's complete with angels you can't see,
Right.
and working what you don't realize.
I know, right?
So Yahweh tells you, 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. And let's start at verse 9.
Hallelujah.
Please. 2 Kings, 6th chapter, and verse 9.
And the man of Elohim sent unto the king of Israel, saying, Beware that thou pass not such a place. For
Thither,
thither the
Syrians,
Syrian came down.
verse 10.
And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of Elohim told him and warned him of, and saved himself there, nor once nor twice.
All right, so now here is one of Yahweh's men, and he's telling the king, Yahweh's letting him know what's going on, and the king of Assyria was trying to get the king of Israel. So Yahweh told the prophet, and then the prophet told the king, and it said the king of Israel saved himself in verse 10, not once nor twice, but he kept, the king of Syria kept not being able to get the king.
Right.
All right, so the king, we're going to see, of Syria thought there was a spy in his camp.
Right.
All right, but eventually somebody told him, no, it's that prophet, that man of Yahweh that keep telling the king what you're doing. All right, read start at verse 11, please.
Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing, and he called his servants and said unto them, will ye not shew me which of us is the king
It's
of
for
the king of Israel?
verse 12.
And one of his servants said, none, my servant, O king, but Iyshshah the prophet, that is a Israel teller, the king of Israel, the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber.
All right, but so here Yahweh is letting Iyshshah know exactly what is going on.
Right.
So the king of Assyria is saying, okay, who's telling, we got a traitor in our camp.
Right.
But no, it says his servant said, no, none of us are traitors, but it's Iyshshah, the Nabi, this Israelite that's in Israel. He's telling the king of Israel everything that you speak in your bedchamber.
Right.
That was Yahweh telling the prophet
Yeah,
exactly
right.
what was going on. All right, verse 13.
And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And if it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan.
All right, 14.
Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots, and a great host, and they came by night and compressed the city.
All right, so then here, this king, he got him a big old bunch of soldiers and stuff.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, go spy and find out where this prophet said.
Right.
And he said, okay, he's in Dothan. Then he got his horses, chariots, and a whole bunch of soldiers. And they came by night and snuck up on where this prophet lived. Come past the city where he was.
Right.
Surrounded the city. All right, verse 15.
And when the servant of the man of Elohim was risen early and gone forth, behold, and hosts compressed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Elijah, my master, how shall we do?
All right, now here's Iyshshah, his servant. He got up early and he saw all these soldiers outside.
Yeah.
And he said, oh my goodness, master,
Right.
what are we going to do? Oh, we're doomed. All right, verse 16.
And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that
Yes.
be with them.
Verse 17.
And Iyshshah prayed and said, Yahshua, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahshua opened his eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire around about Iyshshah.
All right, so then the servant said, whoa, what are we going to do? We're surrounded.
Right.
Then here's Iyshshah, the prophet said, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And that's so true for every temple, no matter how many people you go into a Yahweh's temple. They that be with us are more than they that be with them.
Yep.
Then it says Iyshshah prayed and said, Yahweh, open his eyes so he can see.
Right.
He wasn't blind, but he said open his natural eyes so he can see spiritually.
Right.
And Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire.
Yes.
Round about him and Iyshshah. So there was nothing to be concerned about.
Nope.
Go to Isaiah the 5th chapter. So the spiritual force of horses and chariots of fire that the servant saw, they were there before the veil was taken off his eyes.
Right.
So he could see them with his natural eye. They were always there.
Yep.
That's what Yahweh wants you to understand, that his power is there all the time.
Hallelujah.
He wants us to see that too.
Hallelujah.
Isaiah the 5th chapter. So even though the lake of fire has been enlarged, there's still more with us than with them. Isaiah 5 and verse 14.
Praise Yahweh.
Therefore, the grave hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and to be that
And he
that rejoice shall descend unto it.
Alright, so therefore the lake of fire has enlarged herself, but still there's more that be with us than with them.
Right.
Doesn't matter how many people go into the lake of fire.
That's right.
Go to Genesis 13th chapter. So Yahweh is keeping score, but not like the world does by counting heads and numbering.
Right.
Matter of fact, he said the children of Israel would not be able to be numbered. Genesis the 13th chapter. That hasn't stopped man from trying to number them.
Right.
Genesis 13, let's read verses 14 to 16.
Hallelujah.
And Yahweh said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou sendest to thee will I give it, and to thee, and to thy seed forever.
Verse 16.
And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered.
So Yahweh's keeping score, but he's saying, hey, I'm going to make Abram's seed, talking about the children of Israel, as the dust of the earth. You know how much dust there is?
I know.
You pick it up, you can't count it. So that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then they'll be able to number the children of Israel. Go to Hosea, the 1st chapter. But again, man likes going on these rabbit trails.
Right.
Doing stuff that's impossible to do.
I know, right?
And makes no sense. Just filling up time. Hosea, the 1st chapter. But Yahweh said the children of Israel would not be able to be numbered.
Right.
Hosea 1. And read verse 10. Hosea 1. And I'll read verse 10. Yet the
Hallelujah.
number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. He's saying it again.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said of them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living Elohim,
Yes.
or Yah Elohim.
Hallelujah.
But now Yahweh did command limited head counting for certain purposes. He didn't count all the children of Israel. He did it on a limited basis.
Right.
Numbers, the first chapter. Numbers, the first chapter, like we read when he was talking about the census, where
Right.
they counted males, 16 and over, for the purpose of going into the army, fighting
Right.
a war. Well, they got that from Yahweh.
That's right.
Numbers, the first chapter. And we want to read verses, starting at verse 17.
Hallelujah.
Numbers, the first chapter.
And what you want to read? Which one?
Numbers, first chapter, let's start at verse 17. please.
Praise Yahweh.
And Moses and Aaron took these men which are expressed by their names,
Go ahead.
and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their predictees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names from 20 years old and upward by their posts.
All right, so now they're looking, we read in the United States Census, they took 16-year-olds.
Right,
and
right.
up. Well, Yahweh is taking 20 years old and upward, and then we're going to find out. So he's counting his, but he didn't count all the children of Israel. All right, verse 19.
As Yahweh commanded Moses, so be numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai.
Verse 20.
And the children of Reuben, Israel, eldest son, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, accordingly to the number of their names, by their posts, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war.
All right, so you see what the purpose of it was for.
Right,
Number
right.
them 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war. And then you can read on down where it tells you the numbers of, however many it was. Let's skip down to verse 45, please. Numbers 1 and
Praise
verse
Yahweh.
45 to 49.
And were all those that were numbered of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers, from all that were able to go forth to war in
Okay, wait,
Israel.
something happened here. All right, start over with 45, please.
So were all those that were numbered of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war in Israel.
All right, yes, all right. So from 20 years old and upward, he's counting all that were able to go forth to war. All right, 46.
Even all they that were numbered were 600,000 and 3,500 and 50.
Go ahead.
For the Levites,
What?
but the Levites, after the tribe of their fathers, were not numbered among them.
All right, so you see Yahweh said not, but they didn't number the Levites.
Right.
All right, 48, 49.
For Yahweh had spoken unto Moses, saying, Only thou shalt not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Israel.
So Yahweh especially forbid, don't count the Levites. All right, go to 1 Chronicles, the 21st chapter. So he punished Melech or King David for counting and numbering his children of Israel. 1 Chronicles 21. So this puts in perspective when you see the world with all their numbers.
I know, right?
And hanging that shingle in front of you, talking about how bigger is better and all that. And the more numbers, the better. And now we're going to see he punished this man who was after his own heart for counting the children of Israel. 1 Chronicles 21, and let's just start at verse 1.
Hallelujah.
And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel.
Now, so we see right here, right? Hey, there's a spiritual war going on.
Right.
And statistics is a part of that war.
Okay.
And here is Hasatan standing up against Israel, really against Yahweh and Yahweh's people, just like we read in Revelation about the dragon standing before the woman, getting ready to devour her child before the child is born. This is an example of it. Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel, which David knew was wrong. All right, verse 2.
And David said to Job and to the rulers of the people, go number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know.
All right, 3.
And Job answered Yahweh, make the people 100 times so many more as they be. But my servant the king said, they're not all my servants. Why then thou my servants require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel?
So here's this general in the army. King David say, go and count. Take a census of the children of Israel and number them, that I can know the number. Then Joab answered, his general said, Yahweh make his people 100 times so many more as they are. So we can't count them. So he knew he wasn't supposed to be taking a census. He wasn't supposed to be counting heads and numbering Yahweh's people. He said, but my master the king, are they not all my master's servants? Why then does my master asking me to do this thing? Why will he be a cause of sin to Israel? He's trying to get David to check himself and kind of look. All right, and what he's asking to be done.
You preach this out to me. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am at the right place.
I am at the right place.
At the right time.
At the right time.
I am at the right place.
I am at the right place.
At the right time.
At the right time.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. You gone over these songs now. You can clap your hands, stomp your feet, tap the ring up in front of you. Do anything you want.